The site of the project is in current Aboriginal station. The history of the place was started in 1830. Indigenous people kept fighting for their land and showing their traditions. The current including Hillsville Secondary with the Yarra River passing by. Our aim is to respect the land and rejuvenate a place that is rich in indigenous culture. Combined with the survey, we can find many problems. Indigenous people are using two trumps, fire and water. First, fire. The seeds of many plants will germinate faster when they feel a certain amount of heat. This is also the measure that plants take to adapt to the climate. Artificial combustion can also contribute to this phenomenon. Conventional combustion is therefore also one of the important measures of the revegetation. One of the main purposes of the conventional combustion is to reduce the burden on the land by burning large amounts of shrubs to keep the land fertile. Trees are able to have enough nutrition to grow. The ashes of the shrub can also act as a fertilizer, in a sense returning nutrition take away from other plants. In large woodlands, shrubs and grass tend to take up most of the area. In dry and hot season, once bushfire occurs, these plants become a medium of the spread of the fire, causing damage, and indigenous people always burn a portion of the plant to form an isolation zone where the bushfire cannot spread. Then water. Finding suitable locations to dig ditches to collect rainwater according to the terrain is an expression of the wisdom of the indigenous people. The same principle applies to answering wells. In areas where rivers flowed, the earliest way people could manage the flow was by peeling rocks along the river to prevent rainfall from raising the water surface and destroying their habitat. This is the earliest dike. Indigenous people use a maze of rocks as a way to catch fish. Sometimes the water comes down and the fish remain in the maze of rocks. This is also used to store water in the river in case there is no water available during the dry season. Widening the tributaries of the Yarra River with aqueducts. This is good for irrigation and also for plant growth. It is clear from the map that the Yarra River flows through the area is heavily wooded. Increasing tributaries can expand the area of greenery. The Yarra River is nourished by water, and the areas through which it flows is largely vegetated. In this case, a large portion of the area would be rippled in the event of the bushfire. Construction of aqueducts to expand the tributaries of the Yarra River. These aqueducts can be used as a segregated zones to separate areas, prevent the destruction of bushfire, as well as making conventional combustion confined to a certain area and more controllable and convenient. First, I expand the Yarra River tributary. The plants grow gradually and overlaps the farmland. The land in this overlapping area would become fertile. At this time, do traditional burning where plants overlap with the farmland. Transfer agriculture here and idle before the land of farmland brings it back to the fertility. By the time the original land was restored, the overlapping area had just consumed fertility. This allows farmers to return to the previous land and wait for this area to be recovered with plants again. That's how I create a long-term cycle. For the shape and function of the aqueduct, I referenced the form of the local fish trap and added some stone circles. It is always hot and dry in January and February. The aqueduct is fully functional as a sidewalk path. At the same time, the indigenous people will have cool burning during this season. Aqueducts can make cool burning easier, and once a bushfire occurs, the aqueducts can be the containment zone. The portion of the ditch that runs through the farm can be used as a landscape trail at this time, or as a boundary line to the farm. March to May is the fishing season for indigenous people. A portion of the water was drained from the ditch at this time. The stones inside can be used to hunt eel. By June, rainfall began to increase. The aqueducts serve to divert waters at this time. The portion that flows through the farm can provide natural irrigation. The beginning of the aqueduct connects to the Yarra River and provides access to the farm along the aqueduct, acting as a guide. Both sides of the aqueduct can still be used as trails. I also refer to another form of fish trap to find a form of pavilion for people to rest on. The pavilion can be used during December, the harvest season. Residents or visitors can gather here and get some rest.